with a $2,032 ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 14 facing off against a $1,599 Dell Latitude 7455. The difference here is bigger than you'd expect. You're choosing between the Intel Core Ultra 5 336H in the ThinkPad X1 Carbon and the Snapdragon X Plus in the Latitude, with 12 cores versus 10. The ThinkPad's 1.9 GHz base frequency and 2 nanometers process look different from the Latitude's 3.4 GHz and 4 nanometers, but these numbers don't translate directly across architectures. What matters is that the ThinkPad X1 Carbon scores meaningfully higher in real-world benchmarks, so you'll see smoother multitasking and editing day to day. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon posts a Geekbench 6 single-core score of 2594, while the Latitude reaches 2317. Multi-core Geekbench 6 is a near tie at 12,807 versus 12842, and Cinebench 2024 single is 115 versus 105, also close. But with a Cinebench 2024 multi-score of 845 compared to 819, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon consistently edges ahead in real-world speed. Intel Say 3 and Adreno X1-85 are both integrated GPUs, but they use very different architectures. On paper, you see 2.4 teraflops for ThinkPad X1 Carbon and 3.8 teraflops for Latitude. Those numbers aren't directly comparable, so real-world gaming and creative performance depends on drivers and your specific apps. Both are 14 inches with IPS LCD panels, so size and viewing angles are a wash day to day. Latitude's 2560 by 1600 resolution gives you sharper text and more space for multitasking than 1920 by 1200. Refresh rates are tied at 60 Hz, and that's on top of the graphics tie a moment ago. Latitude gives you 400 nits of brightness and a touchscreen, while ThinkPad X1 Carbon offers 500 nits without touch. Neither supports HDR, and both use a matte screen coating, so glare is handled similarly outdoors. Latitude's higher 216 pixels per inch means text and images look sharper than on the ThinkPad X1 Carbon's 162 pixels per inch panel. If you work in bright rooms or outside, Latitude's touchscreen and sharper display make daily tasks easier to see and interact with. With 58 watt-hours versus 54 watt-hours, you get a slightly larger battery in the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, but the difference is small enough that it won't matter in daily use. Both charge at 65 watts, so you won't see a speed advantage from either side. USB-C charging is standard on both, making it easy to top up with the same cable you use for other devices. Both the ThinkPad X1 Carbon and Latitude ship with 16 GB of RAM as standard, using LPDDR5X memory. Neither model lets you upgrade the RAM after purchase, so your multitasking headroom is set from the start. There is no difference here in base memory, memory type, or upgradability at this price. In the base configuration, you get 256 GB of storage on both ThinkPad X1 Carbon and Latitude. Both use SSD M.2 drives, support NVMe, and let you upgrade storage after purchase. So, what you can keep locally and your ability to expand are identical at this price. You pick up 1 kilogram instead of 1.44 kilograms, so your bag feels lighter all day. Thickness is 15.3 millimeters versus 15.64 millimeters, which is a near tie and not much in practice. Carbon fiber construction on the ThinkPad X1 Carbon means a less fatiguing carry than the Latitude's aluminum build. That's now 3 wins for ThinkPad X1 Carbon, this one included. Both offer Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4, so you won't notice a difference connecting wirelessly day to day. ThinkPad X1 Carbon gives you 3 USB 4.0 ports and Thunderbolt 4, while Latitude has 2 USB 4.0 and no Thunderbolt. Both keep the audio jack, but only ThinkPad X1 Carbon lets you plug in more devices without extra adapters. You get a backlit island keyboard either way, but the ThinkPad X1 Carbon gives you 1.5 mm key travel versus 1.3 mm, which means your fingers feel a bit more cushion and feedback on every press. Neither laptop includes a numpad, so your layout stays compact and uncluttered. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon's webcam is 2880 x 1620, while the Latitude offers a 1080p FHD camera, so your video calls look sharper and clearer on the ThinkPad. Both have fingerprint readers, so unlocking is equally convenient on each. ThinkPad X1 Carbon gives you 6 CPU options while Latitude offers 2, so you can better match your needs and budget. You also get 3 RAM choices, 16GB, 32GB, or 64GB on the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, compared to just 2 on the Latitude, and both offer 256GB, 512GB, or 2TB storage options. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon costs $2,032. The Latitude is $1,599, a $433 gap. That extra money gets you the stronger performance, more refined design, and a better keyboard and input, but the Latitude is cheaper and takes this round on price alone. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon comes in black, the Latitude in gray. Both prices are linked in the description below. ThinkPad X1 Carbon is for professionals who demand top-tier performance, a premium keyboard, and the flexibility of more CPU and RAM configurations. If you care most about a higher resolution screen or are watching your budget, skip it. You pay $433 more and give up a sharper 2560 by 1600 resolution for your money. Latitude is for professionals who want a sharp, high-resolution 2560 by 1600 screen and a noticeably lower price, making it a smart pick for anyone who spends hours on documents or web content. Skip it if you demand the most refined design, the widest port selection, or the best typing experience. The one reason to hesitate: the thicker chassis makes it the bulkier laptop to carry daily. Which would you pick, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon or the Latitude, and why? Drop a comment, like the video, and subscribe to Computer Matrix for more honest laptop comparisons.